Hi, improvers, and welcome back to the Be Better Bit by Bit podcast. I'm your host, Nishit Goyal, and the creator of this unique self development platform called Be Better Bit by Bit. This platform's philosophy: small and consistent improvements. Friends, in this current series of time management, the last time I spoke about dead time and alive time. Plus, I touched upon the fact that why it is important to not differentiate between the work and the life part of your time management. In this episode, I'm going to explore a few more aspects of my life which allows me to manage my time and how these approaches have helped me become a full-time 9 to 5 person, plus a marathoner, plus an avid reader, plus a blogger, plus an author, plus a podcaster, plus a YouTuber, plus a diarist, and still manage my 7 hours of sleep and my family time absolutely well. Friends, it's been 15 years in the corporate world. One of the mantras that I love and follow each day is to end my work day at a fixed time. It works for the majority of the time, barring a few hiccups which are fine, till it doesn't hamper my other schedule too much. I am confident to end my day at somewhere between 5:30 to 6 p.m. I heard it from so many people that it's always tough for them to make this choice. It's tough to come out of the hard work syndrome and end the day at the same time each day. Why? Because that's how we have been groomed, and that's what the traditional definition of success is. Work hard and work for long hours and you will find success. Plus, to achieve something, we need to lose something is the easiest explanation given by most of the people around us. But what if you replace 20% of your hard work with smart work? What if you allocate your work well? What if you manage your email life well? What if you manage your meeting schedules to the optimum? Is that digestible? As I said in my previous episode, if you start respecting time, yours as well as others, time management and juicing out the best out of your 24 hours is a cakewalk. Friends, invest, spend, or waste your time. It's completely your choice. We all have a very, very bad relationship with time. Repeating this age-old adage, time is money. But unlike money, once you spend time, you can't get more of it. The good news is we can be thoughtful about how to manage the limited time we have. The great Warren Buffett once wisely said, "The rich invest in time, the poor invest in money." When you invest your time, you are investing your life. Time management is squeezing out the best from the 24 hours in your pocket is not difficult. I believe it is possible and achievable with just small and consistent efforts. Friends, now I'm going to talk about one of the approaches or techniques or tools which helps me in keeping a check on my time management skills. It's called 168 hours. One of the perspectives I picked up from my learning habit was this 168 hours. There is a book by the same name, 168 hours, and it is authored by Laura Vanderkam. For the first time, it hit me that instead of targeting and setting right my 24 hours, I should be looking at time from a wider horizon, from maybe a 30,000 feet, which is 168 hour lens, not 24 hour lens. 168 hours are the number of hours in a week. Now, break this down further. You have over 10,000 minutes in a week. That's a huge amount of time. If you start a simple exercise of making a note of where you spend these 10,000 minutes for the next 7 days, you will get more than a fair idea of where are the gaps. Once you know where are the gaps, you will fill them. Now let me tell you some a very general breakup of this time, of this 168 hours. You sleep daily for 7 or 8 hours maybe, so that is like 56 hours gone out of 168. Then you must be commuting to your work. That may be on an average 2 hours, so that's 14 hours more gone. So now we are left with 98 hours. Your working hours may be 8 to 9 hours daily. I'm talking an average, so that is maybe 63 hours gone from the remaining 98, which leaves us with 35 hours in the week. Now, personal time like daily hygiene, your meal time, getting ready for the office takes away roughly 1 to 2 hours daily. So now we are left with approximately 20 hours. Now comes smartphone time. In addition to the use of our phone while we are at our workplace and while we commute, in general, phone and social media eat away at least 1 hour from your day. Now, if you remove this 1 hour from the 20 hours left, we are roughly left with just 10 hours. For what? For family time, social life, physical exercises, me time, and so on. That's it. Isn't this overwhelming? Where is the space to outgrow yourself? Now let me first talk about awareness, because without that nothing is going to improve. Self-awareness. The time spent list which I just narrated is like maybe a 50,000 feet narrative and might not fit you in general, but that is fine. I am sure at least it will be applicable to you with a 20% modification here and there. That means you are still short of the time you want for yourself. Enters self-awareness. As I said earlier, track your time. Track your time spent. Your time is more than money. If you track your money, why not time? Not for the remaining part of your life, but at least for the next 7 days. Pick up a small notebook and start noting down hour-wise or minute-wise details of the areas where you are spending your time. Once you start doing that, you will start seeing the gaps. Remember, the gaps were always there. By simply making a conscious choice to notice them, you are going to become self-aware of these gaps. And once self-awareness arrives, action arrives. Make use of these small gaps to introduce the actions you always wanted for your life. Remember, go slow and go consistent. If you identify a gap that can free 5 minutes for you, add a few basic standing or sitting exercises to your schedule. If something gives you 10 minutes, add maybe 2 to 3 pages of reading time. If there is something that is appearing in your schedule time and again, and by simply avoiding that activity, you can bring in 30 minutes of additional time, go for a walk. I do this exercise once in a quarter maybe. Every time I found something new. It helps me stay on course. When I identify these gaps, my mind automatically rushes to plug the gap. With time, I have realized the quick fixes don't work. And hence, I add small positive actions to these gaps. And I try and be consistent with that. Yes, I am not able to fill up the gap in like maybe 5 or 10 days. It takes time. But these small and consistent efforts make sure that I fill the gap in long term. These small efforts accumulate and they snowball. This snowballing effect gives me the needed improvement in my overall life and in the time management requirement for me. I hope you are ready to identify the dead time in your life. I am sure you are ready to identify the time leakage in your life using the 168-hour tool. From tomorrow, start adding 5 alive minutes to your schedule. Not only you will improve your time management skills, you will also become 1% better than your previous self. Friends, I'm going to continue with this time management series in my next episode. So, join me in the next episode of Be Better Bit by Bit. The podcast is available on Spotify, JioSaavn, Google Podcast, Spreaker, and various other streaming platforms. Friends, I am very, very happy to announce that my debut book, Be Better Bit by Bit, is out now on Amazon as a paperback and an ebook. There are great 5-star reviews on Amazon, so grab your copy and don't forget to leave me a feedback. You can follow the Be Better Bit by Bit platform on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, where you can view and experience a lot of exciting stuff on self-development and the unique challenges and the methods we use to bring small and tiny improvements in your life. So till next time, bye bye.